Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day like I am. Me and my community are doing very well, and super happy to kind of be able to just say that the market feels like it's kind of sort of back on track. Again, we're very much a long ways away from that, but good news is coins like Gala, Solana, and a handful of others are really taking off, doing very, very well. There's also Mana and Sandbox also that are maintaining a decent price right now. So these are pretty great signs here for the overall sense of things. That being said, though, I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. And we're of course going to take a look at Gala and just kind of talk about this previous support zone that I referenced yesterday and how much higher this could possibly go. Okay. That being said, if you are wanting to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a website, link down below. You can effectively register to be part of my community. Now, part of my community, there's so many different things that's kind of included. First of all, we've got some phenomenal traders here. Look at this Solana long here from yesterday from Austin. Great job getting in on that target there. Some awesome trades here from Link, Alexandria, as well as Russell coming back. So you guys are doing awesome. Keep up the great work. Super proud of you. But here's something that's really cool about this situation here is I am able to provide trade signals for every single trade that I take. And take a look at this here. Yesterday, in 20 hours, we took 220% from Solana for a long position because it just looked like it was primed and ready to go. Same thing with Bitcoin too, even though that was 16 days old, it got a nice little 40% there. The portfolios are just growing. Ethereum, 60% in 16 days. What else do we got here? Litecoin in 30 days. And then, of course, we got, Bitcoin in 7 hours? We took 32%. That's not bad, right? Because it did look like it was ready to break that 17,000 mark. And it did. It worked all the way up to like 17,350. So absolutely awesome stuff. Congratulations again to my community members. We're getting paid here today. And the key here is to be patient. Okay, make sure you're patient with your trades because obviously, getting in and getting out too frequently can cause, some problems. Don't get me wrong, day trading versus swing trade, totally different stories, but generally speaking here, we're looking very, very good. So great job on that for everyone. Furthermore, too, we got a $10,000 prize pool monthly for Bitget. Highly recommend you register with them. You will need a VPN to qualify, but they have phenomenal, level 2 data. Their leverage is super easy to use. Profit and loss ratio and trading volume is what the competition prizes are. We're going to have a new one starting into this month, so just kind of be aware of that. So to my community members, heads up on that. And obviously, if you're new to the community, you get 3 extra months free with ExpressVPN. Registering with them is the best thing you could do because they are fantastic. So thank you, Bitget and Express, for just being awesome parts of my community and helping us out there. So here's with Gala. I got this little yellow highlighted part for Gala from yesterday. And what this was, basically had that support zone I was talking about. And I had an alert here right at about the 3.1 cent mark and effectively missed that out. Okay, now unfortunately that does happen sometimes. You can kind of see this little candle wick here that just kind of comes down to about 3.15 and just barely didn't get alerted. Okay, so again, that would have been a long position for me and my community, but unfortunately it doesn't happen sometimes where the price doesn't actually enter that zone. It just comes down to wick right down to that Fibonacci retracement level of 1.272. That being said, regardless of that missed opportunity, which happens all the time in trading, you got to get kind of used to that. We have another nice significant candlestick here today. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick peek here. First of all, from bottom to top, we're at about 41% on the day for Gala. That's pretty awesome. Very, very significant considering we had a 75% candle yesterday. So it's a heck of a continuation. Now, as I mentioned before, I said one of two things that happen. Price would either pull back to this support range, which it pretty much did. It bounced right at that initial level. Or we see the price continue higher. It technically did both in that sense. So I'm happy to see that. So congrats to a lot of my members and actually those who commented yesterday. Thank you for that feedback. It was great to hear that was a positive video or was able to help you a lot because obviously it's doing what we're expecting it to do and testing this key level resistance. So here's the thing with the resistance. Let's talk about a couple of things really quick going into that. First of all, we're overextended on the RSI at almost 90. 90 on the daily RSI is a situation where the price action will typically pull back. Now keep this in mind. There are rare occurrences where the price action will keep going higher than 90, and you can see sometimes a 95. But as you can see, this line here, this looks very, very similar to this line here. Okay. Now again, the size is much different. Obviously, there's a significant difference here between this percentage of hundreds of percentage versus only double digits versus triple. So that being said, it's not really comparing apples to apples, but generally speaking, the same concept holds true. When the price comes up, it'll inevitably come down. okay? Now, it could very well maintain itself at this price point for some time, if not continue higher. There's a good chance of that. But we have to break through this resistance level first. So let's talk about that and just kind of see what that means. So first of all, when I say resistance level, when there's a point in which the price action continues to hit multiple times before it breaks to either the upside or downside, that's considered a support or resistance, right? You probably know that by now. But anyways, the more often you test that level, the more likely it is to break, but it's also stronger to the reverse when it comes to retest. So we hit 4 times here previously, got rejected this first time trying to come back up, and now we're retesting it a second time. So the likelihood of breaking through it the first time is fairly low unless we have a lot of volume to support that. Now, so far right now, the volume definitely shows us that we are supporting the price action, okay? Because with this kind of increase and low volume, it spells disaster. It's pretty much going to turn itself around. But right now, there's some really strong fundamentals likely causing this to occur, or just, people are just plain old sick and tired of Gala being so low and they're just bumping it up. Regardless of whatever that fundamental catalyst is, the point here that I'm trying to make is that the likelihood of breaking through that resistance level the first time is fairly low. Okay, that's why cup and handle patterns are common, where they essentially come up here and then they retest, and they get that retest of that level a second time. So there's a great chance that this could be just a really ugly cup and the next handle might need to calm down a moment to retrace and bounce back up to break through that level. Okay, so just be ready for that. Don't be surprised when we see a pullback from here, just based on the simple sense that is kind of what should happen. Keep in mind, we're in a bearish market even still. Even though Bitcoin has had a good day, a good couple of days, it doesn't necessarily mean we're back on track. So again, Bitcoin corrects itself. What do you think Gala's going to do? Are people going to take all their profits from Gala, being one of the largest or fairly large altcoins? I mean, you take a look at this here. Look at this altcoin dominance, or Bitcoin dominance. Essentially, it's consistently down. So that implies that alts are taking a large amount of that volume, which is great, don't get me wrong, but it does factor in, and that could also imply that if Bitcoin has a bad day, starts to sell off, something like this could definitely turn itself around. So just be mindful of that. All right, so that's a little warning on the daily. Looking at the 4-hour, let's see if this is a healthy continuation. To me, honestly, this was looking healthy yesterday when I looked at it, because again, we were about halfway through the process. We're at like this 4 or 3 at this point. Right now, we're up to an 8, okay? So we've hit a previous 9, got a little reset, we're back up to an 8. So what does that imply for us? That implies that we've seen a very significant amount of bullish continuation in 2 different time frames. In other words, we got 36 hours initially of bullish continuation, rejected and resisted out of this level here, right? You see how it got rejected at, 2.56, pulled back down, comes up to try again. What do you know? It broke through, short squeeze, price comes up, the shorts hedge their longs, and it continues higher. That being said, though, we are also 8 more 4-hour candlesticks in. We're 32 hours in this continuation that should only last 36 hours. Do you really think it's going to continue to sustain itself at this price point for too much longer? I personally don't think so. When you see 2 4-hour candlesticks or 2 4-hour 9s on TD sequential, it really just helps you imply or kind of drive home the fact that we are overextended. And what do you know? If you add 36 plus 36, that's 72 hours of continuation. What is 72 hours? That's 3 days. What is 3 days of continuation to the upside? That's considered 3 white soldiers. Look that up if you're unfamiliar with it. 3 white soldiers is a normal candlestick pattern where you have 3 one-day candles and the 4th day is red. Okay? So I'm not implying that we're going to see a bloody red day tomorrow, but I just want to let you know that the likelihood of a green day tomorrow is much less probable than a red day. Okay? Because again, profits have to be taken. Greed is a very real thing. You got to understand that it drives the market. That being said, we can see a similar scenario here as well with RSI on above 70, holding as a support level, but it should only hold for so long. I'm willing to speculate we're at least going to be able to see 70 on the RSI retested, likely broken down to come down to 50 and retry that as well. Furthermore, we can see there's really no slowing here. So again, this is just a bullish trend. There's no other way around it. But the bottom line is that we are at that overextension point, and a lot of alerts are going off in my mind that Gala shouldn't go any further than it is right now, specifically because it's pushing into this resistance level. But look at that, it's trying to push even further right now, and it might actually break that level. Keep in mind, if it does break through this level, there could be another short squeeze occurred. Okay, and if we build more volume at this price point, then the price will continue higher. We just don't know yet. Okay, let's take a look at the volume. As a matter of fact, where is it the most? Obviously, we consolidated here before we legged up. Got a decent amount of volume at this range at about 3.76. So if the price were to come back down, a common characteristic of a retracement is to retest the most recent high. In other words, it comes back down and likely bounce at that point. Okay. Good news is there's a lot of volume at this level, this range, so there's a good chance that if the price were to enter this range again, we should see some type of support in that level. Okay, again, just above that previous support range that I was referring to yesterday. All right, so that's where we're at there. And let's go ahead and take a quick look at TD sequential and see if this is also as bad as the other. So we got 1.9 previously here, of course, consolidation for 24 hours. Hit another 9, a little bit of overtime, peaks up to a 5, retrace up to another 5. So here's the truth. Even though this is overextended, this is a healthy continuation, right? This is nice. I like to see those kind of staircase patterns. So in truth, in all reality, the last 24 hours hasn't been as obnoxious or significant as it has previously, and that's a good sign. So that does help us understand that sustainability is there, and that the probability of the price action going sideways, slight pullback with a retest of this level is extremely high. So to me, with what we see here so far, I mean, there's no reason to want to close your position if you have a long one open, okay? Because everything kind of points up at this point. It is a healthy continuation, but we are extremely overextended on the 4-hour as well as the daily RSI. So those two things usually carry a lot of weight, and I would recommend considering trimming your position in the relative near future because the probability of pullback seems pretty high. Let's take a quick look here as well, because yesterday we were testing this 200-day set moving average, and I'll remove the fibs just so you can kind of see it. If you can see that there, you can see right there at that point, what is it, 4.1 cents is essentially the previous resistance. We blasted through that pretty strong. So if the price were to retrace, this 2.0 level, basically the double Fibonacci retracement level of 4.1 will likely be the bottom. Okay, so the price pulls back, 4.1 will be the initial support level. So if I were to, just say hypothetically, this is strictly hypothetical, if you were to shorting down to 4.1 cents would make sense. If you were to consider a long, adding to your position at 4.1 while taking profit right where you're at would also make sense. Just we got to make sure if you're going to be taking profits, that's how you stay profitable. I know it seems so redundant and stupid, but that's just literally how it works. We have a joke in our community about being profitable and how you can't be profitable if you don't take profits. It just it goes hand in hand together, right? So keep that in mind. As we can see, a little bit of a short squeeze likely occurring at this moment. So awesome stuff from Gala. Just be ready for a pullback because it is maxing itself out. Again, on the 4-hour, the daily RSI. There would be no reason for it to continue tremendously higher today. Consolidation first, yes, makes sense. But if it legs up right now, it's going to fall back down a lot harder than it should. Just be mindful of that. All right, I hope that made sense, and this was clear and concise. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you want, again, become a better trader, cryptocash.tech. And make sure you lock in your rate, too, because honestly, at the end of this month, we're rolling out with some new features on the website. I'm going to make it a lot better of an experience. And that would allow for the price action, or more importantly, the price structure to change. So lock in your rate now before it's too late, just to ensure that you're all set and good to go. Congrats to all the community members again for some healthy profits this weekend. Thanks again for joining me. See you next one. Take care.